I've said it before, but one of the most amazing things in the world today is how we are all truly connected instantly. If something happens in France or Egypt or Iceland, people across the globe hear about it as quickly as the people of France or Egypt or Iceland. As you guys know, I think there are real risks in our endlessly connected world. Just see my direct message from last week. But without question, our ability to break down geographic barriers, connect with people from other cultures, and share in ideas being formed across the globe is an incredibly impactful advancement for humanity. Of course, this connectivity, this hearing about and seeing new people and fresh ideas, is only part of the puzzle. New people and fresh ideas only matter if you learn from them for the better or for the worse. So when we see change, like in the Egyptian revolution in Tahrir Square in 2011, with people fighting against an oppressive regime, it only truly matters to us if it changes our behavior and our understanding of the world. If you just use a hashtag instead of understanding why the revolution happened, or why an arguably worse regime came in right after it, or why a regime just like the first one came in after that, then you really aren't doing anything other than adding to the noise. To really understand the world as it is, you have to understand not just what's going on today, but what has happened in the past as well. Just screaming about imperialism or terrorism doesn't change anything. Change takes intellectual rigor, not just outrage. The easiest thing you can do is use a hashtag, but it takes a lot more work to really understand an issue and get involved in a meaningful way. This week, we're going to shift to a country which is absolutely in the thick of the global conversation right now, but at the same time is barely talked about. Greece is generally thought of as the world's first democracy and currently finds itself at the center of the global financial crisis. After several European Union bailouts, the most recent one against the wishes of the people, Greece finds itself in a truly defining moment. Will it forever be beholden to the bankers in Germany and in Brussels, or will it figure out a way to reclaim its own financial independence? Of course, this financial mess in the very country democracy was born is set to the backdrop of the UK leaving the EU in the Brexit vote, as well as a massively shaken European Union trying to deal with the migrant crisis. Borders are blurred, finances are mixed, and nobody seems to know how to go forward. When you add that to the rising populism across the Western world, we live in a time when massive change is coming, and the question is, what form will that change take? Joining me to discuss all this is economist and former Greek finance minister Yanis Varoufakis. Yanis was instrumental in the fight against taking the last EU bailout of 2015 and resigned his post in the government when the government accepted the money. While his economics are a big mix of influences like leftist Karl Marx, he found himself shifting somewhat right, like not wanting to take the money during the lead up to the bailout, which shows why traditional labels, even in the realm of economics, are becoming increasingly meaningless. In a world where a tweet can cause a market to go up or down, our need to understand how connected we are is getting more and more important by the day. What happens in Greece no longer stays just in Greece. We're an interconnected world that at times seems to be growing faster than we can actually process. If the UK leaves the EU, and if Greece is held hostage by a bailout that it doesn't really want, what's the next domino to fall? And if the EU continues to change, how does that not only affect countries like France and Germany, but the United States and literally every other country on Earth as well? Through this connectivity, many of us are finding intellectual allies in places we never thought that we would have. This is a beautiful thing if we can take the time to understand a bit more about history, economics, and philosophy. Education is truly our only buffer against the mistakes of the past. If history is doomed to repeat itself, let's at least try to make the repeats a little less painful.